Today's video, I'm going to share a few more presets for the HX Stomp XL, the Line 6 Helix. And the Atomic Amplifier Mark 1 is one of my favorite pedals in terms of like amp in a box. I've had it for years, and it still lives in my bigger pedal board. And I want to just out of consistency, because I really like the feel of that pedal. I've never owned the second version. They don't make this version anymore. So if you can find it online, it's usually about, £100. This is updated to the latest firmware. Everything is updated to the latest firmware. The way it works, the amplifier box has basically three presets. The first switch is 1, 2, 3, and you have three like clean, crunch, and distorted. And the second switch, you have, three of each. So you will have three clean amps, three crunchy amps, and three distorted amps. You can plug it into if you've never owned one of these, you can plug it into the computer and have, edit some things. You have delays, compression. You can upload impulse responses. It's a great thing, in terms of way ahead of its time, so to speak. When it was released, and you can also store a preset. Usually it's a boost. I've never really. I did some presets to begin with, but like I always went back to the original sounds because the sounds that the presets that are made is so good. So I tried out of consistency to get the preset onto the Stomp XL, and so I have 9 presets: 3 cleans, 3 crunch, and 3 distorted. I have to say I use most of the clean ones for gigs. And the way that I've made the presets, you can see that I've only used a few boxes, a few effects. I've used reverb because this pedal is reverb. I've used the amp, and sometimes I've made a custom impulse response to try and match as closely as possible. And then I have an effects loop where I have the low pedal or D11, but you can remove it if you don't use it. And sometimes I use the distortion trying to match the low pedal as well. I have a delay, and some of these patches have a compression because this pedal has quite a nice feel, and sometimes tube amps have that really nice soft attack, and so I tried to copy that by adding a bit of compression, so to speak. That's pretty much it, really. Again, these are all templates. They're all available in that zip file that is linked in the description and in the pinned comment. Thank you again to all the loads of downloads recently, and quite a few donations. These are free to download, but if you want to make a donation, that's great. I appreciate it. It keeps me going with the channel and with we're making more presets for the Helix. So appreciate people that have sent some donations my way. So let's make a start. So I'm on the first preset of the first channel. So these are 3 clean sounds. When this is an AB box that I made ages ago, when I had a fad of making pedals that stopped eventually, and I went back to buying stuff. But really, when I'm on the red is the Helix, and when I'm on the green, it's the amplifier box. So let's start with the clean sound. It's the 1-1 Deluxe Clean. That's the amplifier box. So that's a clean Fender Deluxe. Again, I added some overdrive and some delay. I'm going to show you just for this. Obviously, being a clean sound is quite, sputtery, so to speak. So let's go back to the amplifier box. This is the second, is a Vox. I made 2 different versions of that. The first is 1-2A V clean, so this is the amplifier box. It's quite chimey, it's a bit more mid-rangey. This is all with the amp, with the amplifier box at 12. Obviously you can add gain, if you wanted to. and just a touch of reverb, and I tried to copy the reverb with a preset on the HX effects. So this is the HX effects. Slightly gainier, and this is the other version, the one with the impulse response. That was that. So third preset is the bassman, Fender bassman. Let's go back to, apologies for the camera, is shaking a little bit. It's on a tripod on the same table where I have the effects. So this is a bassman, so a bit thumpier, so to speak. And this is the HX effects. Yeah, so as you can hear, I didn't really want to add an EQ box at the end to make it exactly the same on the HX Helix. I wanted to have as many free spots to add more effects, so to speak. So that was the bassman. Let's go into the crunch amps. The first one is a Comfort, I think. I call it Comfort, but it's a Comfort. It's like a boutique amp from the UK. So this is the amplifier box. It's quite bright. And this is the Helix. Yeah, it's got that kind of British, it's a bit louder. Actually, let me turn down a bit my headphones. It's a bit louder as a preset. The second one, I really like this. This is the Dumble, and on the Helix I called it Dumblish. So quite touch sensitive. Let's go to the Helix. That's that sound. And then the third one I think is like a Marshall GCM 800. Let's go to Helix. So, yeah, let's keep going. These are the three heaviest presets. This is the 5150. This is the Helix. It's quite scooped as a sound. Let's go on the second one, which is a Friedman. I'm not quite, I've never played one, but I assume this is what they sound like. That's that. And the last one of the heaviest is the rectifier, or the boogie, mezzo boogie. Of your more metal, this is probably the wrong guitar to play this kind of stuff. As always, I feel that as much as I try to copy the sounds, the amplifier box has always an extra bit of like edge, so to speak, in terms of the feel. The sound is tighter, and yeah, this company made some really great sounds in terms of like what I find that um, a lot of these units are made for the listener, not necessarily for the player, meaning that they give you some sounds that are already mixed. And when you create the sound that is for a mix to be put into a mix, there's a lot less bass. They're more like um, less. They have less of that amp in a room, so there's less thump, there's less bass, there's less. And I make these sounds for myself to monitor myself, so to enjoy playing without an amp, so to speak. I'm a person that plays and played in the past with amps almost exclusively, and now I'm more going into this world of uh, modelers, which seems to be becoming more and more the same, so to speak. You can pretty much do the same with any unit, which is that the sound quality is very high nowadays. But I think the Atomic was made with the player in mind, meaning to give that sensation of playing an amp rather than playing a pre-mixed sound, so to speak, a sound that doesn't have, let's say, enough, a lot of bass, so that is because obviously it's made to be positioned into a mix, so to speak. Where this is like the raw sound of an amp. Okay, I don't know if this makes sense. So I personally want to hear myself more with the amp sound than the ready mixed sound, so to speak. Well, that's pretty much it, really. These are the sounds. Feel free to download the zip file. You will find the link in the description and in pinned comments. If I appreciate if you make a donation. I find these all really good sounds, at least for my taste. And again, if you feel like subscribing and sharing and liking, this all helps the channel and helps me to make more of this stuff. That as I said, I always when I use when I make patches for me to use at gigs or for me to record, I use the amplifier to record quite a bit, and I highly recommend it. I really recommend all this gear that I use for you to purchase. The Atomic is a fantastic company. I'm not trying to take anything away from them by copying some of the sounds, so to speak. Just go check out that company. As I said, I think they're selling the amplifier box, the new version, because this is not for sale anymore. The new version for half the price, so it's a great deal, so to speak. Um, and check out also their Tonocracy, which is the digital plugin, which is again is a freeware. So again, like, subscribe, leave a comment. Take care. Bye bye.